Seattle, Washington, the Emerald City. Surrounded by the Puget Sound and sandwiched between the Cascade and Olympic Mountains, Seattle is a dynamic city, rich with access to the outdoors. And this is your guide to getting outside in the jewel of the Northwest. Amidst the markets, skyscrapers, and coffee shops, it's easy to find some nature in Seattle and UFOs.
Wait, UFOs?
We'll get back to that. With more than 400 green spaces in the city limits and 3 neighboring national parks, getting started might feel overwhelming. So to begin, we suggest assembling a crew. One with a navigation expert, a snack connoisseur, and a master of vibes. Now you're ready to explore. A Swedish proverb states that there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So head over to the local Fjällräven shop to gear up for everything outdoors. Despite its infamous rainy weather, Seattle actually receives less annual rainfall than New York, Atlanta, and Houston.
Still rains a lot.
With that in mind, we'll be ready with Fjällräven's latest tech in G1000, Fjällräven's cornerstone material that's hard-wearing, ventilating, and offers customizable weather protection by adding Greenland wax.
The way to apply it onto the garment itself is pretty easy. Rub the wax on, add the heat, and you're all set.
Now that we're geared up, let's show you how to get outside in Seattle. Head over to Discovery Park for a hike and view of Mount Rainier, an active volcano and the location of the first flying saucer sighting in 1947. When you've seen your fill of the Puget Sound, head beneath ground to Ballard Locks to get underwater. If you're lucky, you'll see the salmon running.
They're not running.
Gain some elevation and get a view of the city at Gasworks Park.
Let's get some real bikes.
Grab some bikes and go for a ride on the Burke-Gilman Trail, a converted railroad that runs for 27 miles. Find a route at Husky Rock, the first man-made outdoor climbing wall built in 1976. And finish your day kayaking on Lake Washington. If your appetite for the outdoors has yet to be sated, there's much more to see outside of the city. But to get to the goods, you're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
For the scenic route out of the city, take advantage of the largest ferry system in the US. Since 1888, ferries have offered a convenient way to connect Seattle to its neighboring islands, peninsulas, and beyond. But today, our crew has their eyes set on a single objective.
Storm King!
Mount Storm King rises high out of the waters of Lake Crescent, reaching an elevation of 4,500 feet. The foreboding name should not be taken lightly, as its steep trails can be royally dangerous when combined with inclement weather. But its lush forests and panoramic views are worth the gamble. The trail to the summit of Mount Storm King starts flat, but don't worry, we'll be gaining some elevation soon. The huge boulder with a sign marks your turnoff and is a good time to take a few layers off before you start hiking up. The steep trail might take your breath away, but we promise, so will the views. Once you see the red bark of madrone trees, this is a good indicator that you will now switch from hike mode to climb mode, as the final stretch requires rock scrambling and ropes to aid your ascent. The top of Storm King reveals the glacially carved Crescent Lake below, as the peaks of Olympic National Park stretch out as far as the eye can see. If you squint, you can see across the Strait of Juan de Fuca over to the shores of Canada. Maybe our crew should go there next. The view is worth the push and offers the perspective that within the city of Seattle and just outside, there are endless outdoor itineraries to explore. We hope that this handy guide can serve as a jumping off point for your own adventure, as we have only scratched the surface. But when embarking, keep an eye out for those UFOs